traders, what up investors? Ken here from the Dyslexic Investor, and thank you for tuning in for another fantastic video. We're going to be looking at Wall Street bets. We're going to be looking at APHA, ticker symbol APHA. Again, I had to make sure I said that on a post that has been not much upvoted, to be quite honest, and it's actually, personally speaking, a very potentially high growth trade here. Again, really putting his cards on the table, or hers, and just basically underlying the potential story. We're going to be diving into the post itself, and then we're going to be jumping into the merger talks of APHA, APHA, and Tilray coming together. I'm trying to become a global conglomerate of marijuana sales in Europe, Canada, US, and throughout the rest of the world. So without further ado, if you haven't already, please hit that like button down below, and we'll just go ahead and get started with some fun stuff here. Of course, coming right off the bat here, we're seeing on the top here, coming in here, of course, YOLO. He has 10,000 shares of APH. As long as this is his update, he's kind of doing the same thing like Roaring Kitty kind of did, where he gave like a weekly breakdown of what his positions were and adding to it. Opening up all the different things, you can kind of see he's proving that he owns, well, he actually owns 4.2. He has 6,800 shares here. On this next link, you see that he's it's a true account. It's up. He blurred out the identification for the account. Of course, his battery life is at like around the 40% range, so kudos to that. On this one, of course, must be later in the day because he is actually charging now. Of course, you see has a position as well here with stock, and then of course he has some calls. He has some calls going out in October 2015. October 15th in 2021, not October 2015. That's when I got married. God love you, Angela. So with this one, let's go ahead and just kind of dive into it. So basically, I believe he's saying on his analysis, basically the $2 trillion. Let me actually zoom this in. What is Control Plus? So you can see this just a little bit better up here. Right above this is he's added more to his personal accounts and sold and some extra on the way. I still only own over 10,000 shares. Speaking about that $2 billion stimulus check that's coming through, or it already has come through, he believes the NASDAQ has already bottomed, which I believe I believe as well. The merger is on its way, which I don't know how these two really affect the other one, but that's fine. Merger is on its way, and APHA board will be holding a merger meeting in 4 days on the next earnings report on the 13th of April, and it's still trading 40% cheaper than a Tilray. Of course, when you have two large corporations, of course, kind of come together and really into an industry which has not legally in federal level here in the United States been approved upon, always a little bit of a risk. Of course, coming in today, it's up. Let me refresh this here. It's up and really nice today because, again, we just had the Fed minutes come through, and they're not raising rates until 2023, boys and girls. Pew, 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 pew. And, of course, at the same time, we got the old Tilray up as well, going at these levels. I was going to say, that looks like my chart there. Who posted this? Look at this thing. Look at this thing. That's crazy. Insane in the membrane. Look at that thing. It looks just like my chart. Well, it's just basically a Thinkorswim chart. That's all it is. There we go. One more out. There. So basically with that, and then of course, let's look at some articles. Let's just see what the talking heads are talking about here for the old acquisition here. Nothing too underwhelming on this article, just highlighting that comparing to its competitors, it's underperforming. Whatever. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that idea. Of course, special meeting this is again the Wall Street Bets user is identifying of like, hey, this is going to be that meeting of the boards to talk about the deal. And of course, the one I hate the most is the worst mistakes affiliate investors can make right now. And reading through this article, I don't understand why they title it that way. They're just basically talking about two companies coming together and merge. They talked about Tilray's hold in Canada. They're talking about some of the overseas stuff within Portugal and, of course, across Europe and Germany on some of their potential growth and things like that, on how they're growing revenues year over year of 30+%, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, like, Tilray kind of gets caught up in this whole thing. If you were trading a couple years ago, Tilray went from basically 15, 20, 60, and then it went to $300 in like a crazy short squeeze move like we saw with GME, but it came down pretty fast, as not as like GME has been continuously a battle between the retail folks and the aggressively greedy hedge fund folks, and just really just kind of being reluctantly just constantly being a battlefield on that. So with all that being said, of okay, what are we going to see within these? Is this a worthy bet? Is this like, again? This guy is looking like he's risking his whole account on this, which again, that's why it's considered a YOLO, and especially a Wall Street Bets a YOLO. I'm surprised that this hasn't got more upvotes, due to the fact of, I think a lot of people have been talking about the stock, but again, it kind of fell off the bandwagon. And once we kind of look at the charts here, we can kind of see things come through. So APHA, let's go over here. APHA, of course, you see here getting a nice little bump today. Again, we hit that level around that $32 range again, to that very, very strong, enormous high that we saw. A lot of growth stocks, just a lot of momentum in a lot of these stocks, just really kind of turn up here in the beginning of February. Ever since then, due to the market pullback with the potential higher yield curve coming through, but now that kind of has been squandered in a sense because of the Fed saying, "Hey, we're not raising rates until 2023. See you later. Thank you." This one has been trading fairly well. Again, I kind of like it. I'm not the most well versed on the cannabis business, so taking the fundamental lessons here, again, I do my fundamentals on things. I understand the business, I understand the things, but this is the category which I haven't spent too much time in, on understanding the true fundamentals on how it works. Because again, it really is not illegal. It's still it is illegal. It's like frowned. Not, it's more than just frowned upon, on the sense of the levels of stuff we're seeing within Canada, California, of course Colorado, and then now we're moving on. Another large base of New Jersey and other states are starting to turn the dial here to make this illegal. But it's really going to be coming down to the larger federal government giving the stamp of approval here. That's really, I believe, if that happens, these things will go gangbusters. And the people who have the greatest foothold, the people who have the greatest brand recognition and things like that, will do a fantastic job. This individual is looking at this as well. So talking about the options that he has some options going out until October. So he has them all the way October 15th. I forget the exact call. I think it was the $20 call. He had the 20 call. So again, not that much options activity going all the way out there. Again, this is, again, the implied volatility is pretty extreme here. You can see in here, just all the way out of October, it's 103%. That's pretty insane, because again, this business has such not a curse around it, but just a lot of the YOLO kind of potential to kind of go forth. So calls on my sense is like that's a little bit little too risque. But if you wanted to throw a couple shekels at this, again, be considering of a speculative trade, ladies and gentlemen. A speculative trade, okay? So that can potentially be a speculative trade. Again, I'm not going to be probably potentially playing this options, but in the short term, playing the earnings date, which is again on April 14th, which you see here on the chart here. Look at this. It's kind of coming up here. I love this kind of chart pattern where it kind of comes back down to the 21 to 34 EMA and bouncing. And we saw it hit the 50 SMA right here. Like, look at this. That bounced off that pretty significantly there and really kind of rocketed higher. And now kind of bouncing, hitting at the door here around $20-ish. So $20.70 is a Fibonacci level via the 618 here. If we can get a break through that, we're going to be potentially running to 23 to 25 $28.80. That would be my first targets to really try to break above that $20 range and get into that $23 to $24 range and potentially see that run. I'm not going to say that's going to be run to 32 anytime soon. That was a pretty aggressive move. The RSI has shown that. Again, that was a very much an overbought sequence here, and now we're seeing it kind of come back down to earth here, playing level field kind of scenario here. But this is a pretty unique setup here, and I kind of do like the setup. Again, speculative play, being a little bit risk management is key in all these positions. Again, I cannot tell you this enough. If this individual's right, he's going to be a very happy camper. If he's not right, he's get that his campsite's going to be raided by bears, pirates, and forest fires if that trade just goes the other way. He is playing the longer game. I'm glad he didn't have his whole position in the options, but again, spreading it majority, it looks like 75 to 80% in the stock. So again, he has plenty of time to play that out, and definitely seeing on how the merger and acquisition potentially goes, on how the shares translate over and so forth. Looking at the same side, we can look at, why is this not typing, please? It's the old Tilray, of course, same kind of pattern. It topped here on the 11th, the 10th and 11th of February, and then really kind of came back down. Same kind of pattern here, same kind of looking potentially set up. It's looking a slightly better on the stronger side of things. Again, you can play both flip side of things here and potentially see this run up to the first initial level around 35. Again, it's a $27 stock compared to APHA, which is a little bit around $20. But again, with that news coming out, especially the date that is the earnings meeting, which is in the second week of April, be very mindful about that. That could be a catalyst either or. If the deal doesn't go through, there's some issues going through, people are fighting a proxy, or some kind of outside investor comes in and says, hey, hold up, wait a minute, you should actually join Canopy Growth, or whatever kind of scenario that can kind of play things out. But that being said, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you haven't already, please check those affiliate links down below. We have the Tastyworks account and the Amazon Audible Prime membership there. And if you haven't already, text your grandma, and please, if you haven't already, hit the like button. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, have a wonderful evening, wonderful day, wonderful morning. I don't know when you're watching this, but I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.